Brad. How are you doing? Thank you for calling us again today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
So how could we help you? We're with Father Richard. We're anxious to hear your concerns and see how we can help you.
Yeah, I need help with prayer,
Uh-huh.
and really exactly figuring out how I can discern the will of God through that.
Okay. Okay. How,
So
how how does it apply to you? Like we have different types of discernment. We discern our vocation. We discern marriage. We discern what class to take. What's your specific concern? Let's say.
yeah, so I think a lot of times, yeah, I do get caught up in those bigger topics of discernment like vocation. But what about the smaller things in life?
Uh-huh.
So thinking back a couple months ago, um, there was some men put in my life, and I had a desire to start a Bible study.
Okay.
Um,
That's awesome.
Now, how exactly can I take that to prayer and
Uh-huh.
really discern if that's something that God is asking me to do?
Good. That's a good question. So I would say, first of all, as you were talking, I was thinking like this is something that happens a lot. People want God to tell them everything, right? Like, should I buy this gum or that gum? Should I buy this ice cream or that flavor? So God does not micromanage our life all the time. So in some areas he clearly expresses his will. In some other areas he gives us hints, and in other areas he may not say too much. He expects you to use your conscience, your common sense, your faith to see what is best for his glory, right? So now, in this particular case, you may realize there's obviously, if you're concerned about doing it or not doing it, it's because it's not so evident that you should do it, right? So it's a good thing. Let's start with that. It's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to start up. But obviously, I guess, I don't know, what would be against it? Why would you not do a Bible study?
Um, Say especially pride potentially, that wanting to do it for my own
Mm.
glory,
Okay.
to stand out above the rest. Look how holy I am. Look what I'm doing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because the point is, if it's the concerns of studies, then you need to have a balance, right? So you need to pros and cons and see, is doing this Bible study will it stop me from doing my obligations? And then sometimes
Mhm.
you may not do it because of your obligations, but this is a different
Right.
scenario, let's say.
Right. And I think, in discernment, first you need to start by praying and saying, I need light, right? I want your will, Lord, show me, right? And then you do pros and cons. You think, how this helps for my sanctification and the glory of God. And then again in prayer, you try to look and make sure that the motives are good, right? That
Hmm.
you only do it for God's glory.
Hmm.
Um, and then after you make this process, you arrive to a conclusion, and then you ask in prayer to the Lord for confirmation, right?
Mhm.
That He will give you a peace, a joy in this decision where you say, yeah, 90% this is what the Lord wants. And then you go ahead and do it. Now, um, sometimes what you were saying about pride, is not a good idea to stop doing things because of pride. But what we need to do is to rectify, to purify the intention, right? So what Saint Bernard, said, he would get the temptation. Oh, I'm preaching, and now I'm so cool because I'm a super preacher, right?
Yeah, yeah. Father Richard sometimes thinks that,
And
I don't
then
typically think that. So.
and then Saint Bernard will tell the devil, "Look, I haven't started this for you. I will not do it for you, and I will not continue to do it for you. I do it for the Lord. Period." So it's like a purification of the intention, right? Um, but yeah, I think prayer is a very important part of the discernment, right? Asking God for the light. Then you get to into the process of pros and cons. There's more an intellectual thing, but still you need God's light. Then you make an examination of conscience to make sure you're not your motivations are good, and then asking God for at the end for the confirmation.
Right, and there's a good
Okay.
chapter of the Imitation of Christ that talks about having a humble opinion of self. And there he says that if you want to truly be holy and to learn one principle of wisdom, he says, love to be unknown. Love to be unknown and seek to be unknown, right?
I don't
And-
want that.
Right, I know. Well, but that's our everyone's temptation, right? And sometimes we want to do good to be in the limelight, to be known, to be popular. So sometimes if you love to be known, maybe better not do it. But if you see that no one else will do this unless you do it, then God is clearly encouraging you to do it. Now, if you see that you can encourage it and plan it and get it done, but someone else can get the credit for it, let him get the credit. It's like sometimes you're in
Okay.
class. I don't know if this happened to you. It happened to me when I was in seminary. Sometimes everybody wants to say the cool question about theology and what about the eschatological events and the Eucharist and whatever. So, you know what? But he also has the same question. Okay, let him ask it, and he will be the cool student. And the important thing is to ask a question, not to get the credit for it. So sometimes if you can let someone else get the credit, that's a great thing to do to purify your intention. Okay? All right. Well, but I wish you the best. I hopefully you can do your Bible study and
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you for calling and God bless you. Wish you the best.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.